Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw. I'm here at Virtuoso Travel Week in Las Vegas, as I am most Augusts in the last 25 years, something like that, how long ever it's been. And I'm here, familiar face, David Kollner, Executive Vice President of Virtuoso. And David gave some great statistics and survey results during this conference about what's going on with Virtuoso and also luxury travel. So we're going to talk to him a little bit about that, and you'll hear about that and more on Insider Travel Report. David, first of all, great to see you.
It's great to be seen, but it's also great to have you here too, James. We're super excited to have you at Virtuoso Travel Week. You're part of the whole thing yourself.
Well, it's a conference I never try to miss, and I wasn't going to miss it this year. So I wanted to talk to you first about how Virtuoso is doing in terms of sales for the past year. I think you have some optimistic results. You're up like 12.1%. Is that true?
Yeah, your journalism skills are on point.
Well, I'm just listening to you. That's
well, not everybody even does that. So, it's pretty exciting for the first half of the year for 2025 compared to the first half of 2024.
Right.
We're up about 12.1%. That's a global composite number for Virtuoso. And I think that is a little bit of a contrarian point to what's going on in the rest of the industry, where a lot of people are seeing a lot more slowing or even negative year-over-year sales. Now, that is down even for us for 24 over 23. So we were in the 20% mark range for 24 as a whole year. So the growth is slowing a little bit for us. But we think a really important point for those people that are pursuing luxury and leisure as their strategy is that the category is still growing this year.
No, and it is more optimistic news because we thought maybe we'd see some real slowdowns. But so far, the luxury market seems to be holding up.
Yeah.
How large is that luxury market now? And I believe you say it's growing, right?
Yeah, one of the things that we track is the growth in the size of high net worth and ultra high net worth consumers. Right. We started following something that UBS has been calling the e-Millies, which I love as a Gen Xer with Milli Vanilli and everything else. It's a little bit of a play on words. But the e-Millies, people with $1 to $5 million in assets, right. They might be a little bit below the traditional high net worth measure. But this market is growing by 5 million more e-Millies joining the worldwide market in the coming years. And the wealth growth has still been such a huge factor. Like last year, we talked a little bit about the United States. Over 1,000 e-Millies created every day in the United States. So as much as the economy has been a little bit of a roller coaster, there has been incredible wealth creation, and there continues to be incredible wealth creation in the United States, as well as a global opportunity.
And then the other thing is that you have now a situation where almost 7 generations are in the travel market now, and so they're traveling together, and you also gave some stats about which generation that Virtuoso believes is going to be the wealthiest eventually. Right now, the baby boomers like me still have some money.
Yeah.
But you said, I think it's Gen Z is going to be the wealthiest generation eventually, right?
Yeah, exactly. So next time we go out to dinner, James, it's the boomers' bills, is what I hear. It's like you've got the most wealth accumulated.
I got to wait for how long until I get Gen Z?
$83 trillion is the wealth accumulated on the boomer generation. So there's really no competing as to who has the most money right now. So I think that's an important point. As much as a Gen Xer, I might still make some jabs at the boomers. It's really important for our industry to remember that the boomers are a huge business opportunity, and there's a lot of boomers that want to travel, and they have unique travel needs. About 2 to 1 the amount of wealth that's in the boomer generation versus the Xer generation. But we are looking at the greatest wealth transfer in really the history of the world is coming up in the coming decades. And a lot of people believe that Gen Z is going to end up being, first of all, maybe one of the largest generations and certainly the most wealthy and influential generation in the years ahead.
I just can't wait until my son actually pays for dinner.
I know. This is something to look forward to.
I guess I don't know when that's going to happen, but we'll see what happens. Now, turning back to Virtuoso itself, I think Virtuoso advisors are actually delivering higher average daily rates for hotels, and I'm not sure about cruises, but they're really producing better value for your preferred partners, right?
Yeah, well, on the cruise side, the Virtuoso network is growing faster than the cruise industry. So we had a little bit about 10% growth so far this year, and that's compared to the big three reporting about 5 to 7% growth. So nice to see that Virtuoso is outperforming the general market with those partners. And then second thing is we really see that the ADR continues to go up. That's the average daily rate. This is for Virtuoso's direct booking sale, so those room reservations that are made directly with a hotel through whatever medium. And the average daily rate has gone up by about 8% for us so far in 2025. That's quite a bit faster than 2024. So as much as we said the overall sales were not growing as fast, this is actually the opposite situation. ADRs are growing faster right now. And this is also kind of contrary to what we're seeing in the general media about what's happening in the travel industry. This is related to Virtuoso's target market that really is looking for the very best that's out there, the best suites, the best rooms, the best hotels in the world, and really Virtuoso advisors really providing amazing value to their clients at those rates.
And better results for your preferred partners, too.
Yeah, I mean, we're super proud of the fact that we are continuing to improve on our preferred performance.
Now, you also have measured the sentiment of your advisors, I believe. What's on the minds of Virtuoso travel advisors? I understand there's a little bit of a dip in terms of the optimism side, but you said no, there wasn't an increase in pessimism. And I think you explained that a little bit, but explain that to us.
Yeah, we ask a question. We've asked a question for, I think, a decade now, which is, how do you feel about your business right now? Are you optimistic, neutral, or pessimistic? And obviously we've had a bit of a roller coaster during the pandemic to get to this point, but we've been riding really high with record optimism amongst the Virtuoso owners and preferred partners. But this last measurement that we took in July worldwide definitely showed a drop in the overall quantity of optimism. Not a huge dip on the member side, a little bit of a downtick, but that was really offset by an increase in those feeling unsure about the future. Right. So the thing that's different about that is in times when the economy goes bad, people sometimes have an increase in pessimism. So this was more of just about uncertainty than pessimism, and it was reflected also in our preferred partner results. Right. The results are a little bit varied around the world. People in Latin America tend to be a little bit more optimistic. People in the cruise industry,
they're happy down there. That's the problem.
They're happy, I guess. The cruise industry tends to be a little bit happier, and also interestingly, Gen Z tends to be a little bit happier and more optimistic outlook about things.
Well, they're going to be here a little longer, so I guess they have to be optimistic.
Got more to enjoy ahead, maybe. I don't know.
The millennials and us baby boomers, we're kind of jaded.
I know.
I don't know how do we quick change that? I'm not quite sure. But
I don't know. The statistics bear it out that the boomers are not as optimistic as the Gen Z kids.
Well, now you also have, you measure the influence that a Virtuoso travel advisor has on the travel decisions of their clients, right? And I think you found that they do have a lot of influence over what these clients, maybe across the board of the different generations, right?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that we were really proud of to see in our global traveler study that we just released is that there is a significantly higher rate of influence that the Virtuoso advisor has compared to even high net worth clients that use a non-Virtuoso advisor. It was about 67 to 33%, about double the amount of influence. And that's really reflecting the fact that the high net worth traveler really depends on the knowledge, wisdom, connection of the Virtuoso advisor, and it's a proven relationship, and it really stands out in the data, actually, in survey data.
Well, that's good for your Virtuoso members, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And you also talked a little bit about some of the trends in luxury travel, and I was very encouraged to hear that more travelers are interested in booking sustainable travel today. Yeah. Almost 2 in 3, and I actually interviewed Jessica Upchurch, who is your vice chairman and also sustainability strategist. Yeah. And she was encouraged, too, to find that, because we always wondered, when is people going to realize that sustainable travel is something that people want and it sells?
Yeah. I think the thing that's so interesting about it is that it is something that clients don't think to ask about always. So it's so important for the advisor to ask about sustainability. Have a conversation during the trip planning process. Are you interested in this? Can I provide some options for you? And we have lots of tools in the Virtuoso network to help advisors be successful and how to position and talk about sustainability with their clients. But 2 and 3, are actually interested in the sustainable options. And, part of what your role is as an advisor is just to present more options. Like that itself is value.
And was that across the board for all generations or not?
Yeah. But, okay, so this is a really good point, and a bit of a frustration I think I have in general when there's the luxury leisure market is so huge globally and so different. It's really hard to just say like, oh, well, luxury travel is this. Right. So just like sustainable travel, there's many different facets and explanations to it. And generationally, it's really different about the attitudes towards sustainable travel. We really see that people on the boomer side, they're interested in avoiding over-tourism. Gen X is interested in giving back to local economies and making sure that aspect is being done, whereas Gen Z is just really wanting to support and maybe even pay more to use a partner or contribute back to a sustainable business.
Well, and that doesn't surprise me in a way. It sort of should be that it's definitely more interested. But I always argued that to get more people to buy sustainable travel, you got to get the advisor to realize it's profitable.
Yeah, and I think that is definitely the case. I mean, sustainable business is good business, and that's a big part of what we're training and advocating for at Virtuoso.
What are some of the trends in destinations? I think one of the interesting statistics that came out is we thought that U.S. inbound business to U.S. people weren't interested, but you actually found something different, right?
Yeah, certainly the big picture like our USTOA and certainly other sources like tourism economics are showing that there is a decrease in international arrivals into the United States. I think that number is also, again, a generalization. So as they say in Gen Z language, your mileage may vary, or YMMV. And the real story behind that is, travelers at different generational or economic strata are reacting differently to the current economic and political climate. I think wealthy travelers want to go where they want to go regardless. And so it's a little bit more insulated. And the other thing, maybe also to add to your comment is that there's a better resilience in general in the category about going to destinations after shocks that happen in an area or otherwise. So as much as there may be what I hope is a temporary decline in the overall inbound arrivals to the United States, I don't think it's a permanent one. I think we're hoping for resilience. And
where are U.S. travelers going abroad? Where are the most popular places? Usually the usual suspects, right?
Yeah, for sure. Our top destinations remain largely in the same ballpark, so there's not too many surprises in our top destination list. I think the thing that also varies here is generationally. Like the boomer client is probably a little bit more interested in going to something tried and true. They're returning to the Caribbean, they're returning to Hawaii perennially. Whereas maybe the younger generations are the ones that are the most interested in those new destinations. And I think as an advisor, it's a good idea to stay on top of that and keep recommending those.
Absolutely. Now, the last thing I want to talk to you about is something I think you highlighted, which is the, all of the, in terms of reviews and recommendations.
Oh, yeah, my favorite.
You said that was your favorite. I couldn't let you not talk about that. No. And one of the, I don't know why you talk about it, because the ratings are so high for both the advisors and your preferred partners, right?
Yeah. So Virtuoso is a really unique network in that we run a proprietary verified review system, and we run it globally. So it happens beyond just the United States in many different markets. 5 days after the client returns from their trip, we sent them an email on behalf of the Virtuoso advisor, and we asked them really just one question. Would you recommend this advisor to a friend? Or if you traveled with a Virtuoso preferred partner, like let's say Intrepid Travel, would you recommend Intrepid Travel to a friend? Yes or no. They also have the option to write in a little testimonial if they wish, or their complaint. And what's been really amazing is, last year we celebrated 10 years of this program running. We've sent over 1 million invitations to clients worldwide to do reviews, and the number this year actually went up. It's been stratospheric already, but it's at 99.5% recommended for our Virtuoso.
Can't do much better than that.
You could be 99.6, James.
Yeah, well, that's true. There's more room for improvement, yes. Right?
I got a tiger mom somewhere there that's like, it's got to go a little higher. So that number is a high for us actually in the 11 years of the program, and I just am so proud of Virtuoso advisors for delivering that level of service, and I think it's something for our whole industry to even be proud of. Is like advising is something, it's one of those products that people buy and they just love working with an advisor, and I just appreciate everyone in the industry working together to support advisors being successful and advisors for consistently pushing themselves to provide such an amazing service. So proud to be associated with something like that.
Well, you got a great group, and they have a great travel advisors and great preferred partners.
Yeah,
so
sure.
that's any other trends you want to highlight beyond what we've discussed here?
I think, the only thing I would say, James, is something I alluded to earlier, is always really look at the data that you're looking at. And this is not for you as a journalist who's always doing that, but for all the people watching, is the more than ever, as we've been learning about the way that information is presented, you want to just dig a little bit deeper, right? Like when they say travel is down, is it really? Is it down for you? We did a variation by state this time for the first time in Optimism, and we saw that there was, quite a difference in outlook between even the location where advisors are based in a country like the United States that is a huge market, but many micro markets of people. And that's differences by generation, differences by your geographic location, or even your personal, passion points of what you're interested in your life. So just keep and be rigorous in looking at the information, and the sky is not falling, at least as of this moment. And there's a lot of things to be optimistic about in terms of our long-term potential, in terms of increasing client size and the wealth creation around the world to provide the disposable money for travel, but also the fact that we work in an industry that people want to both be working in, but also to travel. It's a top thing for Gen Z.
You're selling something to a client that ideally that's what they want. They want leisure travel to great destinations, to experience different products that are in the high-end market. And what's bad about that? I mean, this is why I always tell people it's a great time to be a travel advisor.
It's a great time to be a travel advisor, and thank you for your work in highlighting our industry and always being a champion for us too, James. We appreciate it.
David, great to see you as always here at Virtuoso Travel Week. It wouldn't be the same without you, and I'm sure we'll see you in the coming year a few times over looking forward to some of the big Virtuoso events coming up. But I'm so glad I got a chance to be here with you.
Amazing. Thank you, James, for being here, and thank you, everybody. We'll see you at Virtuoso Week next year.
I'm James Schillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.